Here's a guide on how not to create a monster. Warning, not following the guide can cause lifelong suffering and eventually a slow and painful death. First up, why do you even want to create a monster? Nobody is going to believe you. You're about to pull a science experiment that makes every Marvel origin story look reasonable. Seriously, think about what you're about to do. But if you are already decide to proceed, here are the mandatory rules so you don't completely ruin your life. Anyways, rule number 1. When you make a monster, think about your potential consequences. This is Victor. He decides to leave his entire family behind and lock himself in a small cabin in the Swiss Alps to conduct an experiment creating a monster, even though he doesn't fully know where this is going. This rule is pretty self-explanatory, but I guess Victor lacks common sense because he really thought a monster can solve all his problems in his life, yet he didn't even know his own purpose for making it. When that monster was born, bro abandoned it faster than a flash. Rule number 2. If you somehow successfully created a monster, do not abandon it immediately. This is the consequences of your action, so man up and deal with it. Don't be like Victor, who decided to escape the cabin like El Chapo and let the monster roam around Europe like Alexander the Great, except instead of hunting other nations, he's hunting everyone you know. When you create something as crazy as Dennis Rodman, you are also responsible for dealing with whatever consequences that comes with it. Rule number 3. Do not assume that monsters are born abhorrently evil. The monster only became a villain after being abandoned by everyone he saw. If the monster is raised properly with care and love, the monster would not be different than anyone else growing up. It's like the monster only became Darth Vader because of how he was treated. In other words, neglect and rejection can turn something innocent into something dangerous. Rule number 4. Aesthetics aren't everything. If you are going to build something out of scraps and broken parts, do not expect the creature to look like Tom Cruise. I don't know what Victor was thinking, picking out these supposedly beautiful parts expecting greatness just to catch the ick and bolt the second the monster opened its eye. Just because something doesn't look perfect doesn't mean it deserves to be abandoned. Rule number 5. Don't make promises you can't keep. I cannot emphasize this enough. This doesn't even apply to monsters, but people too. After finally tracking down where Victor is, all the monster asks is for Victor to create a companion. Victor says bet, but then destroys the companion right in front of the monster. I don't know what villain arcs Victor is smoking. It's like he's actively looking for a fight against the monster, when in reality, the fight is basically hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. Rule number 6. Don't play the victim when your creation hits back. You cannot act surprised when the consequences of making a monster show up at your door. Victor literally tried to act like a main character in a tragedy he started. It's like a lazy and unserious attempt at a YouTube apology video after getting cancelled. Don't try to gaslight the world into thinking you are the one suffering when all the mess is because of your own wrongdoing. Ultimately, the book Frankenstein is trying to tell you to not be an idiot. Specifically, that knowledge without a moral compass is a death wish. Literally, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Something even Tony Stark had to learn the hard way. Victor left his family and isolated himself in the Alps just to chase scientific glory for his entire life, ignoring every warning sign and breaking promises, which is exactly how everything spiraled out of control. Every micro decision Victor made shows what happened when ambition grows bigger than responsibility. Frankenstein basically argues that intelligence means nothing if you don't have the common sense to guide them.